I think that people have to do a better job of representing the problem. I think it's really misrepresented in healthcare. I think there's a focus and an emphasis on things that are not really broken, and they're saying that's broken. And what's really broken is kind of hiding. And the one example I would use that I know is kind of controversial is the whole end of life thing, where all of the cost, I mean, 90% of the cost in our system currently is in the last year of life. And so what happens is you have this cost shifting where America looks like it consumes a lot of healthcare products and services. So people are like, you guys use lots of healthcare. How come you're not healthier? And it's very judgy, right? And generally, up until the last year of life, you don't use a lot. We don't use a lot. It just gets loaded at the end. And then we don't know how to manage end of life. And so we spread the cost. And so we look as a nation really inefficient. And every patient, like a young woman turning up in a clinic, is going to be stigmatized for using healthcare because you're the person we're going to shift the burden to and kind of make you feel bad about it. And so I think the most important to do is the accurate representation of what is broken, because saying healthcare is broken, and then you go quickly from healthcare is broken and people aren't engaged, or let's go blame a group of people who aren't even in the room. Who's not here? Okay, let's blame the patient because they're not here. And that happens all the time. And I think it's the business models that support, that basically the incentives, what we're rewarded for, what we're paid for, what we're encouraged to do as an industry. The medical device industry is massive and loves people buying really large equipment and loves intervention and loves end of life and loves procedures, and the pharma company loves really expensive drugs and people demanding, when they're in their last year of life, every possible drug to give them an extra month of life. And I think I'm not going to go into the moral, you can tell how I feel about that already. But I think it's the correct representation. When you say broken, we should stop saying it's broken, because so quickly people start pointing the finger at the wrong people, like the doctors and the nurses and the patients, and it's not them.